We're going to start tonight with the unfolding situation in Haiti. That country has descended into total chaos after being overtaken by gangs. And as we speak, an emergency meeting on what to do about it is underway in Jamaica. Caribbean leaders are hoping for action and action now from Canada, the U.S., France, Brazil, and the United Nations to restore law and order to a situation that is dangerously without both those things. This all dates back to the summer of 2021 when Haiti's president was assassinated in his home, triggering a wave of gang violence. The assassinated president's party appointed longtime politician Ariel Henry as prime minister. But Henry's time in office has been rife with gang violence, despite an agreement he signed bringing in 1,000 Kenyan police officers to try and quell that violence. His decision to delay his exit from office and promised elections appears to have been the last straw, with gangs banding together to close both the main port at some points and the airport in and out of the country. This weekend, the U.S., Germany, and European Union began evacuating their embassies, but Canada's diplomats are still there, effectively trapped. Earlier today, I spoke with our ambassador to Haiti, Andre Francois Giroux. Hi, Ambassador. Pleasure to welcome you to our program. Thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you for having me.
What can you convey tonight, Ambassador, to Canadians watching about the state of things in Haiti? How are you, first of all?
I'm okay, and I can assure you that our staff is all safe as well. But the situation is quite critical in the sense that there's a lot of uncertainty. What we've seen over the last few days is the gang working together, attacking some of the key infrastructure. Although it has been a little quieter these last few days, the airport, there's no commercial flights coming in. The port has been secured by the police, but there were a few days when goods couldn't get out of the port. So as a result, there is definitely a lot of insecurity. Thank you. What I would add to this is that obviously, in order to help moving forward, political parties, political actors, civil society have been getting together to try to find a new solution going forward. And the CARICOM is meeting today in Jamaica, the leaders of the Caribbean community, in order to help crystallize this agreement. So they are meeting as we speak, they've been meeting all day, and they have two major objectives. Is really try to move a consensus solution forward so that this can take us to elections in a near future. And this is something Canada's been very involved. We have been encouraging, we have been supporting, we have been facilitating, but the key here is always a Haitian-owned, Haitian-led solution. And the second objective as well for the CARICOM meeting is to try to mobilize international community behind the multinational mission for the security support, which is also critical in order to help the police resource itself and get a handle on the security situation.
If I could, I'd follow up.
When it comes to
So, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I just wanted to follow up on what both of those things mean in layman's terms. Sort of, in the first instance, when you talk about crystallizing a solution and addressing kind of what happens next, does that mean that the international community will play a role in trying to facilitate a transition away from this current government into elections?
What the international community will do is it will support a Canadian-led, Haitian-led, Haitian-owned solution. So we are, our ambassador to the UN, Bob Ray, is in Jamaica in order to help with this and to show our support to the Haitians actor, the various stakeholders, whether political, civil society, business community, that are trying to move the country forward in that regard. So we are definitely all united behind the Haitian-led and Haitian-owned solution.
So can you offer some perspective on what that might look like based on your conversations and your experience since you assumed this role? I keep hearing from various politicians, Haitian-led, Haitian-driven. What is it that you have the impression Haitians would like to see?
Well, the the president was assassinated about 30 months ago, and as a result, Monsieur Henry was appointed prime minister. He had been identified by the president before he deceased, but as the next prime minister. So the country went ahead with this, but there was always a large proportion of Asian who felt that it needed to be more of a power sharing arrangement. So Monsieur Henry has always had difficulties bringing together the other political actors. We have been encouraging him. There was the CARICOM Canada Summit, Prime Minister Trudeau, Minister Joly, been encouraging him to open, to reach out, to look at how he could be more inclusive into his government. He has made genuine efforts, but at the end of the day, it was never anything that was acceptable to other parties, other members of the political spectrum. With the insecurity that we are facing right now, there is definitely, I think, a revival of those talks, and the idea is really for those actors to finally try to put their differences aside, because they are a political opponent, put their differences aside, come together and try to agree on a clear path towards elections. So that's the key here is if you want to have inclusive, transparent, legitimate elections, you need to have a sort of a minimal consensus of the various actors, so that that process is considered legitimate and will provide and produce legitimate results as well.
Does the Prime Minister need to resign in order for that process to unfold?
That is for the Asians to decide. Again, we will be supporting an Asian-owned solution. They are in discussions right now, and then we're very supportive of efforts that will bring that clear path toward elections. This political stability, in our view, is a contributor, is needed in order to help restore security, because you have to remember that Haiti right now is facing three major crises: the political one, which we just discussed, but a security one and a humanitarian one. Canada has been doing wonderful work on the development front, even also on the humanitarian front, but it's becoming harder and harder for us to do those development program because of the insecurity. And then because the insecurity has reached such a low level, or we have, as you know, a year ago, Prime Minister Trudeau has announced $100 million dedicated just for the National Police to help rebuild it, $100 million dedicated for equipment, technical assistance, and training. In addition to that, we've also created a structure where Canada is bringing together 30 international partners to make sure that all donations and all support to the police is well coordinated. It's actually addressing the need of the police, right, and then that we don't have duplication nor have areas that are neglected, so gaps. And then finally, about three weeks ago, we've announced our $80.5 million to support the multinational security mission. So when it comes to supporting a long-term solution to the security in Haiti, Canada has really done its share. What we need to do now is mobilize more of the international community so that others come and join us in helping Haiti moving forward.
Certainly, Ambassador. I'm so sorry. I just have a few seconds left, but I wanted to make sure to ask you, because the situation is so insecure at the moment, the EU, Germany, as well as the US has started evacuating and evacuated quite a number of your counterparts in their embassies. Are there any plans to do so for you or your staff?
We are very safe and have no plan to evacuate. We are ready for any eventuality. You have to keep in mind that every mission has a different footprint, is located in different sectors. So missions country take the decision depending on the perceived risk to their safety. We have very good facilities, and therefore no. And in the other countries like France, Spain, the UN, we are all in the same posture. We're ready for every eventuality, but we are not planning to evacuate or reduce our footprint at this point.
Okay, Ambassador, I'll leave it on that note. I appreciate you making the time, and please do stay safe.
Thank you.